Jayson, do you write your act and put together something, or do you just kind of go up there and riff when you do your stand-up?
So a little bit of both. But that makes me think of when I opened for Joan Rivers, and so she came to Vermont, and she had this big contest for all the comics who wanted to open for her, and so she had all these rules. She's like, okay, first it can't be a woman, it has to be a guy. It has to you can't swear or have any sexual references, because by contrast, she wanted to be the one to bring it. And so all the guys, we put together our best tapes and we sent them to her, and then her people picked me, which was very exciting. But then I found out, I'm like, so how, who are her people? They're like, no, she picked you. I'm like, really?
Mm.
That's cool. So I was all excited, and then it's like, okay, and I was told I get 8 minutes, and when you're told you have 8 minutes for stand-up comedy, that doesn't mean 8.5. That doesn't mean 8 minutes and 10 seconds. It's 8 minutes. Because if you go over, then people know, oh, they're not reliable, and because you're taking away from other people's times. So I like took all my jokes and I had to like switch them around. So my best 8 minutes, I'm going to showcase my best 8 minutes. And so things were out of order and how I usually do them. And it's not like a strict order, but I was like trying to put everything together. So I got that down and I practiced, and I even did some visualization. So I imagined myself on the stage. This is at the Flynn, it seats 1,400 people. And I'm like, okay, and I'm going to like come over here and I'm going to go over there. And like, I had it all pictured in my mind. And so the day comes and Joan Rivers shows up, and it's like, oh my God, Joan Rivers. And she walks in, and she has like a huge presence. And she walks in, she's like, hello. And she comes onto the stage and she says, is that light going to be on over there? And the people at the Flynn are like, oh, we can turn it off. And she goes, no, I didn't say turn it off. I said, is it going to be on? I just want to know. Is it on or is it off? Just let me know. So I'm prepared. And they said, well, normally we keep it on. She goes, okay, the light's on. Okay, then it's going to be over here. She goes, Jayson, there's going to be a band here. They're going to play a song. What's to usher you on? What song do you want? I'm like, I don't know. She goes, what do you mean you don't know? Come on. You've been thinking about this. And I'm like, I never had a band open for me. So she said, Black Eyed Peas. He'll do Black Eyed Peas. You like Black Eyed Peas? And I'm like, yeah. So, that song, I got a feeling that tonight's going to be the first night or best night or something. Yeah. So that song. So she's like, okay. And then she talks to me for a little bit and she's like, and you can have 10 minutes. And I'm like, great. Oh my God, I have 10 minutes. So now all my jokes are like cut in pieces. And I'm like, okay, how's this going to work? And so I figure out, and I like have it down. And then, and she can see that I'm like my head's just exploding. And she says, Jayson, don't worry. You have nothing to be nervous about. Everyone's here to see me. No one's here to see you. I'm like, thank you for the pep talk. And so a few hours later, I got a feeling, and I come up on stage, and I'm supposed to cut off the band. And I like jump up and I go boom, like that, like a rock star. And it was just so cool. And then the band stopped, and it was so exciting. And the audience was laughing at every single joke, every little throwaway, everything got a laugh. And I come over here and they make a laugh, come over here, and then I was like in the middle of my routine, and I'm like, and I was so confused because my jokes are all out of order. I just added some stuff in, and I started telling this joke, and I said, have I already told this joke? The audience shouts out, yes. And I'm like, okay, moving on. And I do the rest of the set, and it's great. people say Joan Rivers, after she does her set, which she was amazing, she's like, Jayson, you were very funny. And I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, Joan Rivers just said I was funny. And I'm like, oh, I bet she says that to everyone. I'm like, this is Joan Rivers. She does not blow smoke. And then someone from the Flynn said, Jayson, we saw Joan, and she said that she was laughing during your set. And I was like, yes. So it was very exciting. But then a friend of mine came up to me and he said, so Jayson, did you wing it? Which was like both the biggest compliment and the biggest insult all in one. Like, did I wing it? I opened for Joan Rivers. Yeah, I winged it. And he said, I could tell that you were just making it up on the spot, except for that one time. And I said, what? Which one time? He says, when you repeated the joke. I knew that was planned. Like, all right.
that person has got their finger on the pulse of your show for sure.
But that's a lot of what comedy is about. It's about rehearsing over and over so that it seems like, oh, and I just thought of something.
Yeah, that's a really cool story, and I feel like
and some of it's true.
I feel like that comment that Joan Rivers said, like if somebody had said that to me, don't worry, they're here to see me, like that actually would have relaxed me, because I'd be like, yeah, you know what, it is fine, like I'll just do what I can do. I'm not the main attraction. That's cool.
Yeah, except you're not performing. If you're there to perform, you want people. I mean, it's one thing if it's like, oh, you're writing this memo, don't worry about it. They're going to look at the other stuff. It's like, no, this is about.
Yeah, and the 10 minutes would have given me a heart attack. I was like, oh my God,
yeah.
Just add 2 more minutes.
Add 2 more minutes. Yeah.
So you were able to just fill that. Like I'm guessing you had to ad lib there, right? If you had planned for the 8.
Oh no! I had a few hours in between from when she told me and when I went on.
Oh, okay.
So, so I practiced that. but that's also hard because if you're practicing over and over again. Sorry. That yeah, it is hard. Like, I know I said this like 7 times today when I was rehearsing. Did I actually say this? I can't believe I repeated a joke during this.
Apparently it worked though. People probably, yeah. It's how you handle the accidents, really. Same thing with singing. If you, I waited. I couldn't remember the lyrics for like almost a minute to a song, and my band wouldn't give me a break. They just kept playing the riff over and over, and I just thought it was hilarious. And then I asked somebody in the audience to give me the words, and they looked up the wrong AC/DC song. I was like, no, that's the wrong one. then somebody else, and I was like, and I sang it, and everybody went nuts because I wasn't panicking. I made it into fun. And that's what you did. That's great. Yeah, that's hard. You have to be comfortable.
That's one of my favorite things because I do acting, I do improv, and stand-up comedy, and by far comedy is the hardest. But improv is it's just so wonderful because you just make whatever up, or you get stuff thrown at you, and then you have to kind of make it make sense. And then also the audience knows that you're doing that. So I'll do a lot of crowd work, and I'll like talk to the audience. I'll say, oh, where are you from? And I'll try and engage them in a conversation. And that's just super fun. But then it's also a low bar, because if I say anything, the audience is like, oh my God, what's he gonna say? Because they know that I couldn't have prepared because I'm just talking to someone. So